We're going to do our best bets ever of the week. Hench, start us off, your favorite play, and you already gave us the Bills laying 2.5 in Arrowhead. I'll say very quickly, I'm with you. Based on, I think we gin up the meaning of this game, the two best quarterbacks. I don't know that it means that much, but I do think that the Bills kind of, more than the Chiefs, are thinking to themselves, we need to show to ourselves, if no one else, that we can go into this spot. And they also probably are having a conversation that is more viscerally kind of puts a bad feeling in their guts than it does the Chiefs the other way around. It's like, hey, let's make the Chiefs come up to Buffalo for the playoff game this January. So I think for that reason, I'm going to go with the Bills. And by the way, they've played a little bit more consistently dominant ball than the Chiefs have. I can certainly make a case that the Chiefs should have two more strikes in the L column right now.
Oh, I know. And my Chiefs under 10.5, Chiefs to miss the playoffs, all my Chiefs bets going up in smoke with the.
It was right there. I don't care what any Chiefs supporter says. The Chiefs could really be in some peril right now. Just a couple of things. Calls. I mean, straight up officiating went the other way.
I agree with all those points. The Chiefs basically can lose this game because of the outcome against the Raiders, and the Bills will be on a mission. And I do think they have real impact players on that defense.
By the way, let's stay in that division. I'm curious for your pick on the Patriots, because if the Patriots are halfway decent, and keep in mind the Dolphins are struggling because their guy who came out of the gates, gangbusters, Tua, has been down. Otherwise, I don't know if they would have lost a game at this point. Either way, they look good. I really like these Jets. I want to get your pick of them going into Lambeau. I like Zach Wilson. I like the state of that roster as it improves. I don't love what the Packers are doing, but first of all, the Patriots and the Browns. How say you on that one, Edge?
These Patriots, man, are they they're just making me look bad with their overperformance. But I do think the Browns are the exact remedy for what the Patriots do well on defense. Like, the Browns are physical and they're going to pound the ball. And even though the Patriots defensive line has been tremendous and the defense is legitimate, Barmore, just a game wrecker. But what the Browns do so well is pound it. So I like under, and I like the Browns a skosh. I don't think it's a rout. I think the Pats D is going to keep them in every game. And I also agree with you that until Green Bay proves they deserve to be laying some of these numbers, like that Giants game, you didn't watch that game and think the better team lost. It was like, so we love what the Jets are doing. And the last piece does seem to be Zach Wilson. And so if he's the real deal, that team's going to be a playoff team
next year for sure. I mean, if they fix up that offensive line, they get healthy with the pieces they already have, and then draft up a little bit more there. They're not a team with a ton of flaws in 2023. Over under though on that Pats Browns game, total passes 3.5, both sides. I mean, but Brissett and Zappi. I mean, who's incented to ever throw the ball in that game? Well, it's going to be 3-2 with 2 minutes left.
It'll be interesting to see if Jacoby Brissett is allowed to throw the ball after that decision he made against the Chargers. Again, here's the only thing that cannot happen. This is the only thing in this moment that cannot happen, is you throw the ball directly to the other team late in the game.
Russ did it too, but as I keep saying, so it's easy for me to celebrate that, but I'm telling you, it makes me a jerk, I guess, to point it out since the odds are on my side. But Cooper Rush is also going to get got eventually. At some point, sooner rather than later, it will be revealed like, oh, yeah, that's why he's the backup. That's why nobody
I would like to point out, when you look at Bailey Zappi's eye-popping numbers against the Lions, admittedly an atrocious defense that was also decimated on game day, he has a pick mixed in there that is just one of those classic Nelson Aguilar fumbles the ball to the defense. Like, he hits his receiver in the hands, and then that jackass goes, here you go, defense. And I still think we need, in the same way that Spaghetti's right, we need to be able to review roughing the passer. We need some kind of unearned runs on interceptions that hit the
Yes.
receiver in the chest. But Brissett did
For fantasy, sure, definitely,
Yeah.
at least for that as a
for fantasy.
statistical measure.
But to get to Cooper Rush, so
I go Patriots. By the way,
I love it.
I'm going Patriots plus 2.5.
I love your confidence.
Spaghetti, your pick on that one?
I took the Browns in our EP pick with the Browns there laying 3. I think the line moved slightly to 2.5. One stat I do like about the Browns, they're always in every game. Now, they have not obviously won every game, but they're one of 3 current NFL teams that have taken the lead into the fourth quarter through the first 5 games of the year. So I do like the Browns just playing smart football. The Patriots, though, coming off an impressive win, but I think that was probably their best win of the season. I like the Browns in this one.
Caesar, Cleo, the Mannings, Hank Lundquist, and now yours truly, yes, -3, is now a proud member of the Caesars Empire. And your very first bet, it's on Caesars, up to $1,250. If you win, muzzle tough. If you don't, you'll get it all back as a free bet. That first bet also gives you 1,000 tier credits and 1,000 reward credits, putting you closer to the types of perks only Caesars can offer. So download the app, use promo code CZRFULL, Caesar Full, and go full Caesar this season.
Hench, you're with me on the Jets then. Yeah, I said it to Marty Weiss, talked me into that in the moment on Extra Points. I was all set to take the Packers, and I realized, what are we doing? I do think the Packers eventually, are team 1A, or, they're in the conversation come end of December to go to the Super Bowl. But man, they ain't doing it right now. And the Jets, the last couple of weeks, have looked good. I mean, that was not a game. The defense failed in Pittsburgh, but, by all rights, if you buy the idea of momentum and energy and all of that, that game should have been over. And Zach Wilson ignored it and scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and won that one. And then does it. I know it's the third string QB and everything else last week, but he looks good, and the weapons are just, the pass catchers certainly are better than what Aaron Rodgers is throwing to. So seven's a lot to give if you're all of a sudden, it feels like to me, if you're playing.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers had Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, he'd be a little happier than he is right now. Is it official that Coop is starting? Has that been decided as of this recording?
What I read this morning didn't say anything about Dak being ready to roll here.
Well, today's Dak's first day of limited practice.
Okay, it's so perfect. It's so perfect because I, been listening. I mean, last week I was like, the Cowboys-Rams game played out exactly as I predicted, which is Shaq's talking about this guy's going to turn into a pumpkin. Like, Cooper Rush is not Tom Brady. Like, this is going to happen. And my feeling was like, he can pass for 76 yards. Like, that Rams offense stinks, and the Cowboys defense is for real. And sure enough, I think, the game management with the 3 sacks, I think they ended up with less than 100 yards as a team passing. And then I looked at the schedule, and I was joking with you guys, with Sal on the threads. I was like, we all got to bet against Dak as soon as he comes back, right? Then I saw the Eagles were coming up, and I was like, oh, Dak is going to make sure he's not ready. The Lions are on the horizon. The Lions have no DBs and the worst defense in the league. So it's like, let me guess, Dak's going to be 100% for the Lions, and Coop's got to. What Dak desperately wants is for Coop to get 1 loss before he goes back under center. And of course, this is the week that happens. I think, between the Cooper Rush of it, how good the Eagles are on both sides of the ball. You want to talk about teams 1 and 1A. I think the Niners and Eagles are on a collision course to play in the NFC Championship game. So I think the Eagles, Cooper's done his job. They can lose this game, and I think they'll lose it by double digits. And especially seeing Micah grabbing the groin, like, he is a game changer. But if you decide early on, this is one we are allowed to lose, let's get some ice on Micah's groin and let's get out of here.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. I'm trying to thread the needle and have them lose, but by a field goal. And that's kind of how I see it going. Micah is not just a difference maker. He is the difference maker, non-QB in pro football right now. That's kind of what I'm betting on. I do think, though, on the other side, the Cowboys are going to be the rest of the way when Dak gets in there. They're going to put it together with Gallup back now. I think they're going to put it together and be the most formidable NFC team. And I was on the Eagles to beat them and win the division, which they still might, because if they're 2+ up on the Cowboys 6 games through the season, then they have a great shot of holding on and getting that one. What was your pick on that one, Spaghetti? I don't know if I got that one, as a matter of fact. Cowboys.
No, for Dallas and Philadelphia right now, Dallas is getting 6.5 points. That's just way too much. That's too many points for the Cowboys. I don't even care about Cooper Rush. I don't care if I'm playing quarterback. The reason why Dallas's defense has been too good. Pollard has been so explosive. Zeke's been fine, but Pollard has been so explosive. They have multiple ways to beat you. Dalton Schultz getting healthier and healthier as weeks go by, just only going to help their offense out. And CeeDee Lamb and the receiving core hasn't been too bad. I don't know why I'm not fully still buying into the Eagles yet. The Eagles should have lost last week if Kyler Murray had a brain. The Dallas Cowboys will cover this game on the road.